over so that the sensations they're giving off keeps you occupied with them. Your senses are supposed to be turned inward so that you begin to start dealing with changing the velocity of the atoms that rule these particular four senses, which are the four dynamics of the four elements. When you change them back in towards yourself and refocus those energies, you reach escape velocity. But they don't want to. They want to focus all your senses into your sensations. And once you do that, you exhaust yourself by eating all kind of shit to gratify those sensations. Because every time you eat shit, you create a thought process in you that creates the appetite. The appetite now uses certain cellular structures so that you begin to build a certain type of appetite entity that you have to feed. Oh, I gotta have some more chips. Whoa, I gotta have me some more Haagen-Dazs. Whoa, I gotta have me that, what do you call it? I gotta have that, man. Oh man, I'm starving. Who the hell in America is starving? Especially when they be eating all this shit out here. They keep talking about they starving. People talk about, I'm starving. No, you're not starving. But that's the sensation talking. The sensation you've created for gratification. The blue pill says, story ends. You believe whatever you want. Red pill says, stay here in Wonderland. And he shows you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Or is that the black hole into the higher consciousness? Oh, the rabbit hole is deep. Remember, the rabbit has to do with fecundity. Fecundity means procreation. It means the ability to create. That was the symbol. Proliferation. Better word. The rabbit hole, essentially, when Alice fell down the rabbit hole, it looked like she fell forever. Is that what they were talking about? And when she came out, she was in Wonderland. Well, essentially, the rabbit hole is nothing more than a symbol for the black hole. And the black hole is a place where light becomes diffused to a point that you could pass through a pinpoint, because all of your molecular structure has been broken down. And it spirals into, it becomes a wormhole, as they say, into another consciousness paradigm. That's what the rabbit hole is about. Lucifer says, remember, all I am offering you is the truth. Now, every time I say Lucifer, I mean Morpheus. Okay? Lucifer said to Neo, all I'm doing is offering you the truth. And that's what Lucifer offered to Adam and Eve. Listen, you fucked in this place, baby. Look around. Is this all you want to do? Walk around being perfect? I'm giving you a chance to deal with the knowledge of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And that's essentially what he gave to Neo. Epoch was the computer man, and that's deep, isn't it? Epoch was the computer man. Now, here's the computer man telling you what the new epoch is going to be dealing with. He's called all the people who are essentially the Elohim. Each one of these people in the ship were the Elohim. Well, representative of the Elohim, because you saw their names. Morpheus, Epoch, Tank, Trinity. Now, here's something that you need to deal with. First thing after he took the pill, what did he look at? The mirror. What we're saying to you, immediately, what would happen? What happened to God as soon as it realized itself? Remember what I said, I am and I me? Okay, now, my boy was living in the I am because he didn't know shit from Shinola. As soon as he took the pill, the first place he looked was into the mirror and saw I me. And he said, whoa, goddamn. And he said, he reached out to touch himself. He said, that's really me? And all of a sudden, it liquefied. And you saw, essentially, what the Bible was speaking about on the waters, the void. Where's my Bible? Spoke to you about God looking upon the face of the waters. I mean, dealing, it said here, and the earth was without form in the world, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. He touched it, and his whole face, everything began moving. I mean, they played the whole creation scenario right in front of your face. Genesis was being played out. He looked into the mirror. He is then awakened into the primordial ooze, which takes him over. He now takes on the specific matter that creates the physical flesh. Because you remember, he was taken over. The whole thing started taking his whole body over. Spirit began taking form. The whole thing is, again, you got to watch this movie the way it is. He is disconnected from his precise perception and thrust, or his perceived perception of self, and thrust into the world, or reborn into the real world of self-realization. In other words, he went through ye shall be born again, that whole shit that the Christians do, except they don't take the pill, they just dunk your head in some water. At that point, Morpheus was John the Baptist. Because what did he do with Jesus, or the Redeemer? He came in there, he said, threw his ass in the water and said, yeah, you seem to be the one. And he was not baptized by John. That's the misnomer. You remember, they be playing with the words. Jesus was baptized of John, not by John. In other words, the Jesus seed was baptized by John, or ion. Remember I told you there was no J. It's ion. In other words, that Jesus seed I was talking to you about in your body, which is secreted every 29 and a half days of the month. Every 29 and a half days of the month. That then secretes and travels down the body, down to the lower regions, descends into hell, and is resurrected. He stays 3 days on top of the kidneys and the adrenals. If you don't have sex those 3 days, that saving seed comes up and travels through the pneumogastric nerves, and then travels up by the medulla oblongata, is crucified or crucified, resurrected, and sits at the right hand of the Father, which is the cerebrum. All that shit happens inside of your body every time you take a breath. So the whole story of Jesus Christ is essentially a specific type of function that takes place in the body. If you deal with raising the seed 12 months without sex, and you raise the seed 12 months and then park that over into 12 years, 12 times 12, that's the 144,000 that becomes saved. That 144,000 now is raised to sit at the hand of the Father, goes there and comes into heaven, is redeemed, the whole 9 yards. All the bullshit they tell you about in the Bible has nothing to do with somebody coming down in a ship or all the crap. It has to do with your body saving itself. You are the Redeemer, and you have the essence of the Redeemer within you. Well, they know a lot more than we think they know. Remember, this be studies. Now, when Neo awakens, he asks Morph, what happened to me? Where is this place? Morph says, not where is important, more important is when. So we're dealing with past, present, and future. We're dealing with time. Right. Immediately, you saw the duality. Exactly, and space and time functions within a dynamic of units. Now, in other words, Adam has become one of us as a God who ate of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. He, Neo, is now in the realm of time. Before, he was, what's happened to me? What's going on? Now it's, when's going on? When's happening to me? When? Now he's now fallen back into the units of time. All of this is building. Morpheus takes Neo through the ship. He has the Nebuchadnezzar. All right? In Star Wars, the queen was the monarch of the Nibiru. Hollywood is resurrecting the story of the gods of Babylon because the Nibiru Anunnaki are returning. Epoch, Switch, Cypher, Dozer, Josa is one of the names, was the big brother who got killed. Zosa, right? Then there's Mousy. Neo is plugged into a world that is accessed through the medulla oblongata. Now, remember when they shoved this in his back of his neck and said, this is going to feel a little funny. And they shoved it into the back of his neck? What was so important about the medulla oblongata? Does anybody tell me? Mm-mm.
Fascination.
The medulla oblongata sits atop the tree of life, which is your spine. Actually, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, because that's duality. Remember, when he was looking in the mirror, was good, evil. He was looking at himself. That's the tree of knowledge of good and evil. The medulla oblongata is the place of the crucifixion. Now, there is a process in your body. When you raise kundalini, the secretion that you raise, which is the saving seed, travels along the spine. There is a channel on the spine that has spinal fluid. That spinal fluid, when it is processed of